Hello and welcome to The Chat, the official podcast of Chatham County government. My name is Will Peebles and I'm with the Public Information Office. And today I'm joined by Mr. Ben Lewis, the Compliance and Accessibility Coordinator here at Chatham County. Ben, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on.
Doing good, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate
you having me.
Appreciate you taking the time. So tell me a little bit about what you do. What does your job entail? What is it?
So my job, I deal with the accessibility for the county, for buildings, for services, and for applications. So I make sure that we are accessible to our functional needs, to our disability community, accessible community. And if there's a complaint, go out there and make sure that we meet that complaint. We have a grievance process that I deal with. Mainly it's just the functionality of the county for accessibility needs.
Gotcha. So I don't know, off the top of my head, what I think of that is like, we got wheelchair ramps, we got elevators and stuff for people with functioning needs. Is that what you said? Functional needs? But I imagine it goes a lot deeper than that.
It does.
I don't know, what is something that people are generally surprised to hear that you do?
Employee accommodations. I deal with, just an example, we had a boat ramp that a gentleman that was had an accessible need, he drove a boat, but he couldn't get to the boat ramp because of the way the dock was positioned and the extension we had on the ramp, so he couldn't get down there. So we had to come up with a way to fix that.
How'd you fix it? We
extended it a little bit for him, and now he's able to get to his boat.
Yeah.
And he's excited. He's happy.
Hey, that's awesome, man. No, I don't know. That's cool because somebody has to do that. You know what I mean? Like that has to be somebody's job to make sure that happens. And it's your job.
Right.
You made that, like I can get to his boat now.
Yep.
That's
right. And we wouldn't have known about it if he hadn't have told us about it.
Right.
I field a lot of questions from the community on how they can get housing. I had a citizen call that said, he had a child that was thinking about moving out on their own, but they need help. So we got them in touch with the right agencies for that, to be able to help them. An agency called Life, Living Independently. We had, let's see, what's another one we had? I deal with Parks and Recs a lot with the playgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
For accessibility for the playgrounds, and just plug for them. We have now a fully accessible playground.
Oh, yeah.
At Ambuck Stadium.
That's right.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And they're adding on to it right now this year. So phase 2 of it, I think, is happening.
Oh, boy, is it getting bigger? We're getting more? Oh, all right. All right.
More things out there for them. And so that's exciting.
So, Ben, why are these things important? Like, why is it important to have an accessible playground? Why is it important to be able to make sure that guy gets to the boat ramp? It's one guy, right? Being able to get to the boat ramp now. What makes that important?
It's more than just one guy, though. The dock's a public dock. It can be used by multiple people. And when we make things more accessible, we make it better for us, for everybody. And I think that's a misnomer that people have is we're doing this for this person. We're doing this to make this accessible for them. Yes, we are making it accessible, but it benefits everybody. The more accessible it is, it's more benefit to the community. So that's why we do it.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
How do you get into this line of work? Like how'd you end up how'd you end up doing that?
By accident.
Yeah.
I like to help people, and I was in risk management, and it just seemed like a good fit. And I enjoy problem solving.
Yeah.
So, and if I can help somebody in the process in my problem solving, then it seemed like a really good fit to me.
Yeah. See, you seem like you enjoyed it.
I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it.
What's the most gratifying part of it? Just being able to get out there and find solutions? Like I don't know, where do you draw the joy from it?
Yeah, being able to find a solution that works for people, that helps them either in their work life or their personal life, navigating through our county, being able to not only help the accessible community, but also help make it better for everybody. We have accessible kayak pier at Lake Mirror. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't.
We made the dock out there more accessible for fishing. So it's easier for a child to go out there and fish just because we did that. So that's the gratitude. That's what I enjoy out of it.
Yeah, like they're tangible changes to the community. It's like,
see you.
Yeah. I don't know. That's cool. Do you ever just go out there and like, that's mine?
No, I don't do that. I don't go out there and look. I go out there and look and say, we did that.
That's not cool. You can feel a little
pride.
Did that. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome. So I don't know. So how do you find things? How did things get built in the first place to not be accessible? Like why do we need the wheel, like the extended ramp on the boat dock? Why do we need the children accessible fishing pier? Like, why wasn't that kind of worked into it in the first place?
That's a good question. It wasn't caught in engineering.
Yeah.
When it was designed, it wasn't caught.
Are the standards different now? The building standards
they've been extra for a while.
Yeah.
So it's they haven't really changed since 2010.
Yeah.
So we're still under the same ADA standards. The thing that has changed is the accessibility standards for digital.
Oh,
that's a big change that's coming. That's already come. We have to be compliant with all of our digital. What we put out this.
I'll be putting captions on this podcast.
Right. You have to.
Yeah.
Make that. And the way any print we put out has to be accessible now. So if we use applications on our phones, that has to be accessible. So that's a big change that's coming, that's affecting not only the private sector, but it's affecting government as well.
One that I learned about recently was the contrast rules in terms of design. There's only certain colors. Certain colors are not contrasting enough, and so certain people can't read them because that's just how it is. And I don't know. What is the perception when you tell people what you do? Like, what is their general reaction? Because I'm personally, I'm just the layman here. I'm kind of surprised by all the things that go into it.
There's so you work with people in wheelchairs. That's really
I did
what they think.
Yeah.
They think of the functional side of it. They think of being able to get into a building. That's really all they focus on, because that's the universal sign, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they think about. They don't think about the mental aspect of it. They don't think about the vision. They don't think about the hearing. But they think about what they see.
Yeah.
Which is mainly that. They don't see the services that you offer. They don't see the mental side of it. There are plenty of mental disabilities too. So they don't see that. They don't see the employee accommodation side of it. And I really enjoy that part, helping the employee.
Why is that?
Accommodate. Because the employee wants to do a good job. And if we can accommodate them to help them do a good job, then the county is better for it. That's what.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's pretty touching, man. Wow. Like I'm welling up over here, buddy. So,
don't well up.
Better to well up than well down, I guess. Yeah. So, what are some of the services that we offer? You mentioned services, that being something. What are some of the things that y'all do out there?
So like if you have applicants come in that need accommodation, we assist with that. If we have sign language, we have people that have hearing issues, we can assist with that with TTY. We work with the jail. in regards to the prisoners whenever they have an issue. That's really it right now. And we, like I said, we have the grievance. We use My Chatham.
Oh yeah.
Right now, if there's a grievance, I hate to call it a grievance, but that's what it is. If there's an issue there, our challenge for us, put it in My Chatham and let us know, and then we can work on it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How can people, if they have difficulty accessing something, what is the process for them to report it? But it's just through My Chatham.
My Chatham right now.
Mm-hmm.
We will have that whole process up and running here shortly, I hope.
Yeah.
But right now, the best way is to go through My Chatham, and you can pick ADA in My Chatham, and it'll come.
So
to us.
Is there contact with you through that? Like, not necessarily you, but the Ox Safety. Like,
yes.
Like, will they reach out and stay in touch as the process progresses?
They sure will.
What is the process? Like you get a complaint. So we'll take the boat dock for example. Did that come in through My Chatham, or was that something y'all learned?
No, I got a phone call.
Yeah. So you get a phone call. There's a complaint. What is your process from there?
Well, the process from there is we contact the complainant. And then we find out what the problem is, and then we go investigate the problem. And of course, we keep the citizen up to date on everything that's happening. That way, there's no, give them a lot of information, so they don't wonder about it.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes a little longer than what they would like, but we respond back to them and we try to get it fixed as quickly as we can. And that's really the process. Mainly is follow up with the citizen.
Yeah.
Let them know where we are in the procedure, when we anticipate to have it fixed, and then we let them know when it's fixed.
What is their reaction usually? Are they happy to hear it? Like what do they say?
Happy to hear
that you're working on it.
Oh no, yeah, no, they're happy about it. I go back to one we got a call. It was a place on Tybee, and they didn't have enough accessible parking, so the people thought. And we weren't able to, because it's a private restaurant, I'm not able to deal with that. Tybee, they can't really deal with it. But we were able to help the restaurant and show them where they erred at. And they had enough, but they needed more. They really needed more because they provided so much more for regular parking, and they only had like one parking spot. And so they agreed to increase their accessible parking, and which they did by their buildings, and so it worked out well.
That's also so even indirectly, that's pretty cool, man. And there's a term I wanted to ask you about. You mentioned it earlier. Functional needs. Is that what it was? Functional needs. What is that?
Functional needs. Think about the needs you have every day.
Mm-hmm.
Walking, talking, vision, hearing. Those are your functional needs. And we want to make sure that Chatham County is accessible. All parts of Chatham County. Our programs, our services, and our buildings.
I don't know. Is there like a review process for that? Like internally, like, yes, we get the complaints from outside and react to them as they come, but is there, a constant cycle of,
yes,
is this right?
We have to do a self-evaluation plan. We do a self-evaluation plan of the buildings. We're in a process of doing that right now. Try to do 2 or 3 buildings a month if we can. So we go, and you're welcome to come along if you want.
It sounds really fun. Yeah. Yeah, man. It sounds like a good time. I'm not even kidding.
But we check, the bathrooms, we check the accessibility. Things change.
Yeah.
So we go back and check it and make sure. And then I'm also working on a transition plan, which we're required to have through ADA. And it shows our deficiencies, and it shows, it's got to show when we project it to be fixed and when it's fixed.
Right.
And that's a living document. It never, document never.
Yeah, it just keeps coming back.
Right.
That makes sense.
I have a program that all this goes in.
Yeah.
So, and they're actually working with me to get the transition plan going.
Nice. Well, Ben, that sounds awesome, man. It sounds like you do a lot of really good work, and I think it's pretty interesting work too. Because I don't know, I didn't know all this was happening behind the scenes, and
Right.
that's one of my favorite parts of this podcast. Is like I'm pretty new to the county. I haven't been here less than a year, and just getting to like meet everybody and hear them talk about their jobs and
Right.
stuff, and talk pretty passionately about it as you did today. You know, it's cool. You know, you're trying to help people, and I think that's very emblematic of what the county government
Levy County
should see. Yeah,
And I think a lot of people don't know about the ADA department
yeah.
and in the county and what we do.
Well, now you do. Ben, is there anything else you'd like to share with the folks at home? Any tips? Like, obviously we got the My Chatham tip in there. If there's an issue with something and you want to report it to make an ADA grievance or complaint,
I mean, they're welcome to give me a call.
Yeah.
They can call me at 652-7937.
All right.
And
You're putting your phone number out.
I will pick up the phone and call and answer.
All right. Hey, well, if you have a complaint, you can reach out to Ben directly.
Okay.
Well, Ben, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it, and thank you for all the work that you do for the community, man. I think it's really awesome. And thank you for joining us. I hope that you learned something about the ADA department today, and the things that they're doing for the residents of Chatham County. And thank you for joining us. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time on the chat.
Bye-bye.